Hi everyone, welcome back to Liz Sews. It is March Makes time. This is my favorite time where I get to show you everything that I have been up to in the last month, and this one is a long one. Make sure that you grab yourself a cup of tea, cup of water, cup of coffee, because we're gonna be here a while. Tony was actually traveling on business this month, so I had a week where I just sewed nonstop and I got a lot of things done. So the first thing that I have is this dress, and this is a new pattern by Gertie, and this is Butterick 6556. Dyslexia coming out there. And I have made view A, which is the sleeveless version. I did go a little rogue when it came to doing the skirt, and I will show you some of the things I made different. But this is the bodice from the pattern. I really love this neckline, and it has a nice square neckline, which was something that I was trying to do with the Stormy Birds pattern, Stormy Birds dress from last month, and I think this is a little bit more successful. I think the coverage is brilliant on this pattern. I did get a little tired of this fabric when I was making it, so I decided to sort of cut things up by adding a waistband detail as well as a hemband on the bottom. So when I say hemband on the bottom, it's very similar to like how you would make a knit garment. So this is just one piece of fabric that's folded over. So it was 10 inches wide and now it's 5 inches wide because it's folded over. And then I just inserted a little piece of this contrast fabric in that seam as well, just so that it sort of broke things up. So you can see from the inside, all you see is the hemband and then the skirt fabric, and then on the outside we have that nice little detail. This was a technique for finishing the hem that I had done when I was making my ModCloth dress last year, so a dress that I was trying to copy off of a ModCloth design. And it really only works for something that has like a straight hem, like a rectangle skirt. And so when I opened up this pattern and I saw that the skirt pattern pieces were just rectangles, I was like, I'm not cutting that out, forget about that. So what I did is I just cut off the bodice, and then I self-lined the bodice, so the same sort of cotton fabric is on the inside, and then whatever fabric that I had left over, I just pleated down to fit into the skirt. So this is one continuous rectangle of fabric around the skirt. There's no seams. I left out the pockets because I really don't use the pockets that much. Most of the time I'll have a purse if I want to carry something. So one continuous piece of fabric that's all the way around the skirt, and I pleated everything. I did some maths to make sure I could figure out exactly how many pleats I wanted and then how big they had to be perfect. And I think that worked out really well. I also was able to lengthen the skirt because I tend to like my skirts a little bit longer than what the patterns are cut for. So this one is a 28-inch skirt, which is perfect for me. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how this dress turned out, albeit it's a little bit prairie dress for my taste, but I think it went out pretty well. I definitely like this bodice, and I think I could see using this bodice on some other skirt patterns in the future. So next I have a shirt pattern, and that is McCalls 7470, and I did view A right here. I was just looking for another tried and true sort of button-up shirt pattern because I'm getting a little tired of doing the same simplicity one. This is a nice pattern because it has princess seams along the front and the back. You can see it fits just barely. I do need to lose a little bit of weight to wear this, which is unfortunate. Also, it's the first time I've made this pattern, so I lengthened the sleeves like I do with all of my patterns, and funnily enough, this one didn't need the sleeves to be lengthened, so it's kind of ridiculous how long they are. It's fine. I mean, like if I bend my elbow at the right length, but like if I just have my arm down, they're a little bit too long. So I've been wearing this shirt rolled up. It is a beautiful sort of lightweight semi-sheer cotton, and then it has little dots with like gold champagne-y threads in them. So I think that's really beautiful. I took a lot of time when I was making this shirt. I Frenched and flat filled every single seam, so every single French seam, even the arm side has been French seamed, which I never would have thought I could do. French seamed and then sewed that down as well. It has a front yoke and a back yoke, which is really nice. It has a really nice length. I am 5'9", and so you can see how this shirt on me definitely hits very long, and like I said, the arms are very long. So if you are on the taller side like me, I would definitely recommend trying out this pattern. So this pattern does run true to size, I would say. Most of the time with the big 4 patterns, I have to go down 1 or 2 sizes for my measurements, which is, I went down 1 size because that was the largest that was in this pattern set. I hate being right on the cusp between the 2 size sets, and I never know which one to buy. So I bought the smaller one, which was 6 to 14, and I think I really did need a 16 with this pattern, which is unfortunate. But because it's princess seamed, it's very easy to let that out and adjust for it if I make this pattern again. It is a Palmer Fletch, I think that's how you say it. So they really want you to tissue fit, and I hate the idea of tissue fitting, so I didn't. For now, I think I will probably wear it open with a little layering tank underneath it until I can lose the weight and get into a size that fits this. So now I have on the Ogden cami from True Bias. I had never heard of this pattern, so apparently I've been living under a rock, but somebody mentioned it to me in the Kittenish Behavior Facebook group. So I thought I would check it out, and I really loved this pattern. And bonus points, the pattern designer is living in Denver, so it's local too. So I just got a PDF of the pattern, and then I had it printed at pdfpotters.com, I believe. I'll try to link them in the description below. I normally don't like PDFs just because I hate sticking together all of the sheets of paper. So this was a really great alternative for me. And I think the cost was like, it's like $1.20 for like an A0 sized sheet. So like 36 inches by 48, something like that. But there is a minimum charge, so you have to do at least like $7 worth of printing. So I got 3 or 4 patterns printed all at once, and they got shipped to me really fast, and it traced them off, and I was really happy with that. So it's definitely something I would consider in the future if I buy more PDF patterns. So this is a really great layering basic for me. I'm planning on doing Me Made May this year. This will be the first time I'm doing it, so it's great to have a lot of just like casual pieces that I can throw on, and I actually made 5 of them this month. So the first one that I have on is just this green sort of chevron-y triangles, and this is in a rayon. The next one I have is in like a poly crepe, and this has nice little swans on it, and I got this fabric from Joann's. It was kind of a pain to work with, but I really like how the finished tank top turned out. This was actually the first one that I made from the Ogden cami, just to test it out, using a lightweight cotton that I got from Hobby Lobby in this beautiful sort of sage color with cream roses on it. This one I did French seam all of the insides. On the rest of them I didn't bother with that. I just serged everything. I have this one, which is just a nice rayon sort of batik tie-dye, and this fabric I got from fabric.com. I really like the way this fabric looks. It kind of reminds me of like water glistening off, or light glistening off some water. And then the last one that I made is using this lovely goldfish fabric with like a pale blue and white stripe on it, and this came from fabric.com. So one of the things that I really liked about this Ogden cami, besides the fact that it sews up really quickly, I actually did 3 of these tank tops yesterday, and it took me about 2 hours to batch sew them. So they're really fast, and they layer really well. They have sort of a facing on the inside. The facing is a little bit longer, so it does cover the bust region, and so it gives you a little bit of modesty with that, which you really like. And because the facing is longer, you don't really have to worry about it flipping out to the outside, which is always my pet peeve with facings. So congratulations on the Ogden Kami for coming up with the first sort of facing that I will use. I just love this pattern. So the other sort of like basics pattern that I picked up this month was the Sewaholic Renfrew shirt. And I have made 2 of View B, which is just a short sleeve v-neck version, but I do have a couple more fabrics that I purchased to make long sleeve versions. I probably won't do the cowl neck just because it's not something that I'm interested in, but you could also sort of mix and match and do different sleeve lengths. They have a v-neck and a scoop neck and a cowl neck, and then short sleeves, 3/4 sleeves, and long sleeves. So you can sort of mix and match and do whatever you want. So I have it first done in this sort of purpley eggplant colored fabric. This is just a lightweight rayon jersey that I picked up from Joann's, and then I also have done it in this light blue jersey that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and this jersey is so soft. I just love the way it feels on my skin. So I'm really happy with this pattern. The only thing I'm really thinking about getting a cover stitch machine, just because I don't love the way the zigzags look to finish off the neckline. I don't know if you can see that there. So you finish off the neck band, the arm bands, and the band along the bottom with the zigzag stitch, and I just don't love how that looks. So I'm really thinking about getting a cover stitch machine, but they're kind of expensive for something that can only do 1 stitch. And while I do want to make a lot more of these sort of t-shirts, it's like, do I want to spend that much money on a machine just to make t-shirts? At that point, you might as well just buy t-shirts because it's more economical. So I'm still thinking about it, hemming and hawing on a cover stitch machine just to get a nice cleaner finish. But I am really loving these t-shirts. I've worn them a lot since I finished making them. I love just throwing them on with some yoga pants when I'm lounging around the house. I think that they're the perfect sort of like basic staple to have in your wardrobe. So part of my make 9 was to do the Colette Sorbetto pattern, and I wanted to do it in this really gorgeous art gallery fabric rayon that I had. So I wanted, since the first time I've made anything from Colette, I wanted to just test this out in sort of like a cheapy fabric that I didn't care about first. So I used this just poly crepe de chine that I got from fabric.com, and by cheap I mean it was probably like $3 a yard. So it, you know, no love lost if it didn't work out, but it has a cute little bee pattern on it. I think certainly I have done a lot of animal themed tank tops this month with bees and swans and goldfish, but so I made up the sorbetto in this fabric first, and it was sort of a hit or miss. Since this is just a polyester, it will not hold a crease to save its life, so it didn't really work very well with that sort of detail that's on the front of the sorbetto pattern. I also didn't like, so you're supposed to crease it in at the bottom as well, but it just sort of like bagged and looked really, really awkward. So I ended up releasing it probably halfway up, like right about here I released it so that it sort of just balloons out at the bottom. You don't really notice it. And then just did a straight hem across the bottom of the shirt. So this pattern is okay. I don't think it's great on me. I think I can definitely go down a size or 2. It's very voluminous. And then, let's see, the dart placement isn't great either. I think I would need to move the dart up a little bit. I think the apex is a little bit low on me. All in all, I just wasn't super thrilled with it. It's okay. It layers well, but I thought, let's pass on that sorbetto. I think I have a much better idea for how to use that fabric that I'm so in love with, which is what I will show you now. So this is the top that I decided to make instead, and I modified McCalls 6954, which is his dress pattern. So I cut it off at around, I think 17 inches was the length, and then I sort of trimmed in the sides just so that I could get it all cut out of a yard of fabric. I also cut the front and the back on the fold so that you got rid of this seam running down the center. So I really like this pattern, or this top rather, with all those modifications. The arms and neckline are finished with a self-bias binding, so it has a really clean look, and I think that it is perfect for this type of fabric, which is really floaty and sort of sits away from the body. The only thing that I don't love about this, and this is the second time I've made this pattern, is that I have to wear like a special bra with it. It's because it has this sort of Racerback. I need to wear a cross style bra, and I haven't made any cross style bras, so I have to wear one of my older bras that, you know, just came from Victoria's Secrets, and it's just, it doesn't fit the best. So that would be my only complaint about this. And now that I have the Ogden Candy pattern, I think that's going to be my go-to sort of camisole tank top pattern, but I still really love this, and I wore it a lot this month. So now we have the non-clothes sewing. The first thing I made was this Maggie tote, and this is using cork fabric. So this is my first time using cork, and it was an experience. It actually worked pretty well. It doesn't turn as easily as the leather did from last month's bag, but I love the way that the finish is on it, and cork should be really durable too. I also made this matching tassel to go with it using the same cork, so I just thought that looked really fun. And then I made my own sort of like bag attachments and just used a rectangular bit and then some rivets to attach the handle, which worked out really well. The handles did not work so well with the four-way fold, so instead I just folded it towards the center. You can see I marked the center, and then I folded it in towards the center, and then just sewed 2 lines of stitching on either side to keep that folded in. Versus the other bags where I've done more like a double fold bias tape, so it goes, so that would have been folded like one more time like this. I just thought 4 layers of cork to sew through would have been way too many. The inside of this purse, it has just like a teal fabric and then a pale green fabric for the phone slot, and then it has a magnetic closure right there. So that's the purse. And of course, when I make a purse, you have to make a matching wallet to go with it. So this is a wallet that I made using the same cork fabric. This one I put my little handmade label on the back of it, and then teal on the wings, just to keep some of that bulk out of there. I think in retrospect I probably should have just gone all the way through the wings with the cork, because having a seam there where the cork and the fabric overlaps made it a little bit thicker than if I just had cork. On the inside, this one is a lot of fun. I have this batik that's on the flap. I carried through the teal that's on the inside of the purse, and then it has some different features in it. I did add this snap sort of safety strap in here, because on some of my other ones, when I'm using them, sometimes it'll fall all the way open like this and everything falls out. So it's nice, especially if you have a phone in there, just to have that little safety snap to keep everything in place. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. This one is a lot more colorful than some of the other ones I've made, and I think that it's a fun way to use up lots of little pieces of fabric. and I think the cork was a success, so I'm definitely going to be using some cork again in the future. Next we have bras. So the first bra I made was one that Tony had sort of picked out, and this uses the black lace that I had shown in last month's video, and then I lined the black lace with this sort of pink power mesh that I got from Bravo Bella Bras, and they have everything to match. So I used pink power mesh on the band, and then there's a pink non-stretch lining that I used, and then black everything on the outside. And I really liked how this turned out. I think it really accentuated that the detail of the lace without, and added something extra to that. And this is the Berkeley bra pattern from Orange Lingerie. To match, I made a pair of undies to go with it, and I used the underwear pattern from this Simplicity 8436, this one right here. So going on that same theme, I did the power mesh in the front in the pink, and then I added these extra little lace details on the side just because I thought it helped draw everything together. And then the back is completely see-through lace, so kind of sexy, kind of skimpy. I would say that I like the coverage that this pattern has on the front, but I'm not a big fan of this sort of like cheeky style back, so I might use the front and then put a different back onto this if I make this panty again. So this was set 1, and I'm calling this my Barbie pink set. I asked you guys which lace I should use, and it was kind of a tie, but I had one more vote for the seafoam and copper lace. The other one that was really high up there was the cappuccino lace, so we'll definitely be working on that next month or in April. So I again use this 8436 pattern. I'm really loving this. When I saw the pattern itself, I wasn't too in love with how it looked, but now that I've made it and I have it on myself, I think it's really flattering just for my preference. I love the coverage that I get on the side right here. It's beautiful, and then it does a great job of giving me cleavage even though I don't have much to work with. So for this bra, it's a little bit hard to show, but it's a partial band bra, so you don't have any band along this section right here. You just have the center bridge and then the sides. And then I used a lovely seafoam color findings, and then I did put flesh underneath the cups themselves because I didn't like how the seafoam looked when it peeked out of this copper. And then some aqua, like underwire channeling, and just bits and bobs that I had floating around my sewing room. And then I just ended up using sort of a muted brown color for the clasp. So I have a lot of this particular lace left over. I am probably going to make another bra and then a couple pairs of matching panties to go with it. For St. Patrick's Day, I did a green bra, and again I used my tried and true pattern, the Berkeley bra from Orange Lingerie, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I was originally thinking of doing a flesh color behind it, but then when I was cutting things out, I ended up going with black findings to go behind it, just because I thought that it really made that green color come to life. When you put the flesh tone behind it, your eye was more drawn to the holes in the actual color of the lace itself. So I'm really liking how the black turned out behind it. This time I did a fully lined cup, which I normally don't line the upper portion of this cup, but I really wanted to because I was seeing some of my Berkeley bras get a little bit stretched out in that area. So I lined everything, and it does have that power bar pocket in there, as well as the Gothic arch that I love this pattern for. To match my St. Patty's bra, I also did a pair of underwear, of course. I just used the lace in front of it, and this is the Watson pattern. This is the Watson bikini that comes with the Watson bra from Cloth Habit. So it's really nice that that pattern comes with a little free underwear. So lace in the front, and then I just did some micro mesh in the back, so it's a little bit sheer, a little bit scandalous, and then covered everything, all the edges, with a matching green fold over elastic. So I really like how that looks. And then the last bra that I made was part of my monthly bra sewing tutorial series, and this is the Fenway bra. I used a rayon fabric that I had left over from a shirt that I've made, and then just this nude bra tulle on the top, so it feels like it's actually floating against my skin, like it just disappears completely, which is really, really nice. So denim, and then just sort of black on the wings and stuff like that. So if you haven't seen it and you're interested in bra making tutorial, specifically the Fenway bra from Orange Lingerie, I would definitely recommend checking it out. I'll try to put a link to that series up here, and you can make a bra for yourself. So that is everything that I made in the month of March. I hope you guys have enjoyed everything, and I will see you next time.